Are you trying to decide whether you should do a revocable trust or a last will and testament? I'm attorney Vernita Williams. Oftentimes I'm asked the question, is it better to do a last will and testament or should I do a revocable trust? Well, there are some distinct differences. Both of those items will work very well if properly prepared and executed. However, there are at least 5 things you need to look at to figure out which way is best for you. The first is whether or not you will go to court. Many people consider doing a revocable trust because they don't like the idea of going to court. Well, if you do a last will and testament, you will need to go to court. If you do a revocable trust, you should not have to go to court. Now, I say should not because sometimes trust litigation ensues for any number of reasons and the trust ends up in court anyway. But for the most part, if you do a last will and testament, you will definitely need to probate that will in probate court. If you do a revocable trust, you should not have to go to court. That's the benefit of doing a trust. The second thing is privacy. Your last will and testament is not going to be private. In most instances, the court file that's related to that last will and testament will be public record. Most of it can be viewed by anyone who just goes up and says, I want to see such and such a file. On the other hand, if you do a revocable trust, it is not related to court proceedings unless there's some type of litigation, which most of the time there isn't. So your revocable trust is a privately carried out transaction. So your will won't give much privacy. Your revocable trust will give you privacy. The third thing is, how long does it take? If you have a last will and testament and you have to go to probate court, it could easily take between 6 months and 2 years, depending upon what's going on. But for a will, you will need some time, several months up to 2 years, and those are in situations where there's nothing bad going on. That's just the probate procedure. With a revocable trust, it's much, much quicker. There's no need for court intervention or court proceedings. The things that will be done by the trustee are done outside of the court and can be managed in a month or two. So if you're looking for a route that gives you closure quicker, the last will and testament will not give quick closure, but the revocable trust is more likely to give you the quick closure that you may be looking for. The fourth thing is control. Who's in control? If you do a last will and testament, the probate court will exert a lot of control. You will need permission for various things like selling properties, but if you do a revocable trust, the trustee can exercise a lot of control based upon the guidelines that are stipulated in the actual trust document. So if you want to be in control, you don't want the court looking over your shoulder, you don't want to have a hearing and get permission for everything, you may be more interested in doing a trust. The fifth thing is, how much does it cost? A last will and testament is relatively inexpensive in comparison to a trust. You can get a last will and testament in most instances for under $1,000. But if you do a revocable trust, you can expect to pay in the thousands. Now, the last will and testament is going to be cheaper up front. But when you have to take that last will and testament and go to probate court on the back end, you are then probably going to pay thousands of dollars in attorney's fees. On the other hand, the revocable trust will be thousands of dollars up front. But on the back end, after the person who made the trust passes away and that trustee is in the process of settling the estate and carrying out the wishes defined in the trust, that's going to be less expensive. So with the will, you're going to pay less up front but more on the back end. With the trust, you're going to pay more upfront and less on the back end. So those are the 5 different things that you can look at to figure out whether you want to do a last will and testament or whether you want to do a revocable trust. I'm attorney Vernita Williams. If you would like additional information on things you can do to set your affairs in order, please visit my website. There you will find a free download of a checklist of 25 things you can do to set your affairs in order. You can also find 25 estate planning tips to help you avoid legal nuisances and nightmares. Also, if you'd like to call me, you can call me at 786-831-9483. That's 786-831-9483. For your free downloads, please visit the website vcwlaw.com. That is vcwlaw.com. Thank you for listening.